It was the 1980s, a small New England town. I don't want to get too specific. At the time, there were rumors of a mysterious creature haunting the local farms, spooking the animals. Nobody really took it seriously until the day I was born. The couple who owned the farm didn't know what to think when they found me. Hardly any fur on my head and front legs, a very round, chubby face, almost like a human baby. The vet said I seemed healthy enough and thought maybe I'd look more like a normal billy goat as I grew up. But after about a year, I started trying to talk. Some DNA tests were done, and it turns out that my genes are a blend of human genes and animal genes. Of course, your first assumption is some farmer who was raising goats got a little too lonely one day, so to speak. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that it's extremely unlikely for a mix like that to work out in a fully functioning, healthy life form just by chance. Even a genetic engineer would have to get extremely lucky, especially with the technology that was available in the 1980s. The interesting part was the XY chromosome pair, which determines gender. My Y chromosome itself is a mixture of both human and goat genes. Since the Y chromosome can only come from the male parent, my biological father must already have been a hybrid creature. So that rules out any of the humans on the farm. Even if my parents really were a human and an animal, and that offends you or whatever, it wouldn't make sense to punish me for that. Nobody chooses their parents, you know? Not fair. The scientists who analyzed my DNA concluded that if my biological father was already a hybrid, then there must already be a race of hybrids. Mythology already has names for such a race: satyr and faun. Satyr, or is it satyr? I'm never really sure how to pronounce it. Satyr sounds too much like Satan. Satyr makes it sound like I'm sad, which I'm not really that sad. And of course there's faun, which sounds too much like fawn, which is a baby deer. It's a completely different thing. Anyway, the farmer and his wife didn't have children, so they decided to raise me as one of their own. For legal reasons, they called it an adoption, and they got the appropriate paperwork for that. They needed a name for this strange-looking billy goat, so they called me Billy. Goat. William sounded more official. The scientists wanted to study me because, hey, here's a new species they knew nothing about. They offered to help fund the farm until I grew up, during which time they would also be responsible for my education. They didn't want me going to school out in the real world with other human kids. Because I was an unknown species, they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know if kids would be safe around me, or if I would be safe around them. Satyrs have a reputation of being creatures of instinct and lust. But of course that's just a stereotype. They say human men think about sex every 7 seconds too. I spent most of my childhood growing up around scientists, so I guess I ended up more of a nerd. When I go out and meet people, I don't make much of an effort to hide what I am. I just hope that being myself will overcome any assumptions people might make when they see me. I don't think of my genetic makeup as a disability that needs to be overcome. There's no war between my human and animal sides any more than humans have a war between their human and ape sides. I don't consider myself half goat and half man. I'm all goat man, if that makes any sense. To paraphrase Joseph Merrick, I'm not an animal, I'm a goatman being. Did we have to use the baby pictures? Kind of embarrassing.